Hello, everybody. This is Lynn, Carol, and Ellie, and we are back with our $1 Million Mission. It's Tuesday night. Thank you so much for stopping by, and or if you're watching the replay. And we're going to talk about big, bold, and 500 billion. And I think you're going to get a lot about what we're going to share tonight, and maybe even be surprised at some of the things that we're going to share, because we may not even know what we want to share with you. Right? But leave your comments below, ask your questions below, engage with us. We want to hear from you. But as always, before we start, we do our $1 million mission toast. And let's have Ellie do that.
Okay. Carol, now you got to unmute so we can see you. With your glass.
Our $1 million mission toast.
Okay, we make a toast.
How do Ellie do that?
Somebody's got
Uh-oh.
Somebody's got the thing running in the background. Do you
I
hear
think
it?
that's Carol.
Oh, yes.
Our $1 million mission toast.
Carol, you've got to go mute the background. Somebody's got
Uh-oh.
Somebody's got the thing running in the background. Do you
I
hear
think
it?
that's Carol.
Oh, yeah.
Our $1 million mission toast. Hang on, folks. We're going to get it fixed.
Okay, are we good now? Carol, are we good?
Think so.
I think we're
Okay,
good.
here
We're
we go
good.
now. Hey, I love technology, okay? So there's a toast to technology because we're reaching people across the states and globally. Whether you're on here live with us now or you're watching the replay, we have a toast here the first day of December 2015. My toast to you is that your life can be big and bold. If it's not yet, it's right here, and we're here to help you in this $1 million mission to go big, bold, and 500 billion, whatever. Here we go.
Cheers to that. Oh, yeah. I like that. That's a good lead-in, because what I want to mention about the 500 billion is it's real. It's real. $500 billion industry. And what does that mean? We learned the other night on a hangout with some top producers, and you got to understand something. Carol, Ellie, and I, we know a lot of people in our community. And when we go to these events, we're able to talk to these people. We're able to, be able to associate with them as friends. So this is really cool when we can be a part of that and feel like that, we're in like this family. And I think that's what, why we like this $1 million mission, because we're like a family. And we want you to feel that same way too. And what we learned the other night from Michael Martin was that collectively there's a $500 billion industry when it comes to this online, business industry. And I didn't know it was that big. And like he says, there's plenty of room for people to get a piece of the pie, okay? So I wanted to lead with that, because I want people to take away this scarcity thing, or, what's the term that they use? Is it saturated? I get people ask me that question. Empower Network saturated. Well, I'm here to tell you, no. That is outright just wrong. And you can't think that way, because that's a scarcity. That's a scarcity tactic for some folks to maybe lure you to a different, business that they want you to build, which is fine if that's the way they want to do their marketing and all that kind of thing. But think about this. Think about Walmart. Think about Target. Think about all these companies, even McDonald's, that have been around for years. Are they saturated? Of course not. Of course they aren't. There's always people that want their products. There's always people that will go into a Walmart, that will eat a hamburger, right? That will do all these different things. So if we know that the piece of the pie is $500 billion, that makes you and me and Carol and Ellie this small little speck in this huge industry, so we all have the same opportunity. Now the real question is, are you thinking big enough? Are you being bold enough in doing this, in making the decisions, and in actually living your life a different way. So I'm just going to lead with that, and I'm going to hand it over to Carol and let her, run with, whatever she wants to run with. And please leave your comments below and your questions, and maybe you have a different take on this big, bold, and 500 billion. But anyway, take it away there, Carol.
Okay, yeah, 500 billion. That puts a big smile on my face. You just brought back a memory from a long time ago when you mentioned saturation. Years and years ago, I used to go out with this fellow who was an area representative for Shell Oil, Shell gas stations. We don't have them in our area anymore, Shell, but I do see it around different parts of the country. And he used to, I used to ask him, why do they have two stations on the same corner? One on one side, one on the other. I said, how can they both do business? Isn't that saturation? And he said, oh, no, to the contrary. He said, one gets the business going this way, and one gets the business going that way. And if Shell wasn't there, Esso or Sinclair or BP or somebody else would be. So forget the idea of saturation. So that kind of opened my mind. And the same thing with Dunkin' Donuts. You see them all over the place, right on top of each other almost. And yet they seem to be thriving. They're always building new places. But let me get into this think big business. I remember growing up, that nobody ever actually said, well, think small. And without saying these words, the message that you got was like, think safe. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be disappointed. Always have a plan B. Don't think too big because you might not make it, and all that kind of thinking. And it wasn't done to be nasty or whatever. It was done like as a protection. And I kind of get this from school, from parents, and wherever people in authority would say that. But ever since I've been in this business, I get smacked in the face all the time with think big. And we've heard at one of the events, one of the leaders tell this heartrending story about how he went through that whole process, and he was told, your problem is you think too small. You need to think bigger. Now, I'm not going to tell that whole story because it's a long one, but yeah, that's and he's been thinking differently, and his business blossomed after that. And also, I've been reading this book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Yeah, you read it, Lynn, and Ellie's reading it. And he talks about thinking big, too. And very interesting, he puts a perspective on thinking big in terms of your challenges in life. And he says people who think small see their problems, their challenges as huge, big, and they're truly problems to them. Whereas if you're thinking big, your challenges, they're not even challenges. They're small. They're just things to be contented with in daily life. And that was interesting to hear him say that, because as I thought back and as I began to think bigger, I found that that's true, that problems and challenges seem to have a different, I have a different perspective on them now than I used to. And whereas they used to sometimes almost devastate me, I mean, I can get kicked in the butt by them once in a while now, but I also know that, it's just part of life. We'll deal with it somehow, one way or the other, and it's not that big a deal. So to start off with, that's my beginning, and I will pass it along to Ellie.
So think big, bold, 500 billion. They broke it down the other night, 500 billion. $62 billion is the internet marketing industry. I think there's some room for you there. $11 billion is the personal industry. personal development industry. Might be some room there too. And $427 billion is the home-based business industry. And the cool thing is in essence, the company we're in it combines all. It combines all of these. And you want to know what? If you're watching this and you're not in this business and you're not interested in being in this business, I don't really care. I really don't. I still say, do you see this industry? You know, are you tapping into that? And are you tapping into your own potential? So, you know, here we are, December 1st, 2015. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? It was December 2014, a week ago. How did this happen? Boom, how did we get here, right? You know, the older you get, the faster time goes. My question is, have you been living big and bold? That really is my question, because like Carol was talking, they didn't tell me to think small either, but they did say, don't get too excited if something was like going good, and you know, and because it was always you're going to crash and burn. And you develop a belief system about that. People said that to you to protect you, and then you developed a neural pathway. That's exactly what happened. And we don't even realize that. We don't even realize that we run on that. So we see something, and it bypasses the neural pathway for a moment, and we get excited on the what ifs of our lives and living big and bold. We get excited a bit, and then boom, it goes off and it takes you. Oh, it's probably not going to work for you. Or that's saturated. I mean, you know, $500 billion. Give me a break, okay? Or, you know, you're not good enough, and you're not pretty enough, and you're not smart enough, and you're not handsome enough, and whatever. You don't have enough education, and it just takes you. And you've got to come to, if you're going to live big and bold, you have to be bold, and you have to be aware of that mindset map you got running there, and you have to be bold enough to stop it. And here's the great thing. When you're in a community like this, and you could be watching this and not in this community, okay? So, but you kind of are in our community, right? You've got to be able to look and say, if those people can do it, I can do this. You got to be able to do that. I mean, just, do we look like so above average? I happen to think everybody's above average. I don't like the word average, but, you know, we're not like some super duper, you know, professors or what have you. We're just not. We're just people. We're just people who follow, I believe, a big and bold pathway, and it's not always comfortable. It's not, because a lot of times your friends are not on the big, bold pathway. So what? That's the advantage of being here. Okay, there's a community here that is on the big, bold pathway, believes you belong. See, if you get on it, we believe you belong on it. If you reached out to it, you belong there. I don't care what anybody else says to you. I don't care what happened your whole life, and I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care, because none of it counts. All that we got going on is right here, right now. There's a huge industry here that we're tapping into that is accessible and needs you, okay, needs you, because your perspective is different than my perspective. It's different than Lynn's. It's different than Carol's, your perspective. And there are people waiting to hear from you. There are people watching you, and they're waiting to hear from you. That, to me, when you step out there and you acknowledge that in your own head even, and so you step a little further, that to me is living big and bold, you know, and embracing what you have in front of you. Could you crash and burn? You know what? Somebody could push a button tonight and it would all be over. Okay, I mean that. Let's be real. I'm not into like drama and scary, but I'm laughing because to me it would be like whatever. So that's the question. I believe you want to ask yourself every day. I ask myself every day. Did I embrace life today? Did I live my best life today? Did I do it today? Because if I did, and they push the button, oh well. That idea of, don't die with your song still within you. I sing my song. Usually it's big and bold, and most people pray to God I don't sing, really, but and I do, poor Carol, because I walked around the house and I sing and what have you. But it really is about stop embracing fear or what could happen. There it is. Stop embracing what if this bad thing happens? Because it's like if you're not living that freedom of who you are, that big bad thing is happening right now. You're just not acknowledging. Because if you're being squashed or you're being smothered and your light is being dimmed, then that big bad thing is happening and you're not acknowledging it. So I say go big, go bold. I'm going to pass it on.
Or go home. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Ellie, because it reminds me when I was younger and I would be talking, about being a millionaire and this and that. And my mom would say, "Oh, Lynn Marie, stop being such a dreamer." She always used my middle name, by the way. Parents say that. You know what I mean? Or back then they did. We don't tell our son that. We don't say, "Oh, Jason, stop being such a dreamer," right? No, I think that's what this community anyway that I've been a part of now for 3 years. We're bringing awareness to the fact that you can dream bold, that you can live big and large, and that there is opportunity in this industry because of the $500 billion pie that we all can have this piece of, right? So it's really cool when you get around these positive, highly energetic people, especially Ellie, love her. and then Carol kind of tones it down. You got to have that balance, you know what I mean? But anyway, we have that in our industry. We've got so many different people, and just like Ellie points out, it allows you to live that freedom lifestyle and live your life your way. You don't have to go out and buy a mansion or make enough money to buy a mansion. I don't want a mansion. I could care less about that right now. My husband and I, we built our own home years ago to raise our son. Now he's off, out and about, and we're just going to see where he lands. And we want to travel. That's what we want to do, as simple as it may sound. But there's other people, they want the big boats or yachts or, they want to travel the world. Awesome. That's awesome. So we're bringing awareness to the fact that, give yourself that permission to step out of that box and really think big and really go bold with what you're doing every single day. Think about, what are you going to do tomorrow that's going to be different today that will get you closer to whatever your goals are, right? Are you doing that? Are you finding yourself in that same rut, you know what I mean, where you're going to work, maybe you're going to that 9 to 5, and your boss is telling you, "Oh, quit dreaming," you know what I mean? Quit looking out that window and quit dreaming, get back to work, right? So I think that's the message we'd like to share here on our $1 Million Mission, because there is this possibility for having that type of a lifestyle. And the more people we can reach, the more people that we can, bring awareness to. Can you imagine, our kids, their kids, and the generations that are coming up, how they can live their life instead of this 9 to 5 if they don't want to do that? Especially for the fact, I saw a post today on Facebook, and somebody posted this guy, he wanted to retire. He had been working for 30, almost 40 years, and he wanted to retire, but he can't because he doesn't have a pension, he doesn't have enough in Social Security, and he wanted to travel the world, but he can't do that, right? So here he put his life, 30 plus years, almost 40 years, into a company working for somebody else that promised him the golden egg at the age of retirement. And guess what? It's not there. So now what does he do? He has to live a life of, oh well, the carpet was pulled underneath my feet. And that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And so I believe that the more people that we can reach out to and send this message to and offer these different opportunities for people, that they can design their own life by, what we do together as a community. Because I got to tell you something, we got involved with this new compensation plan. It's called Uniline, and we've only been through it for the first month. And everyone's still kind of scratching their heads, wondering, what is this thing all about, all this kind of stuff. But the more that, Ellie and Carol and I talk and other people and things like that, we're seeing that there's these little vaults of money, okay? And because we're talking about money, we got to put an income disclaimer in here, empowernetwork.com/income. But at any rate, I call them like little vaults of money that are put aside for you. So as you're growing your business, you're rewarded with this additional compensation, this additional commission that's based on everyone's efforts. Everyone's efforts. Can you imagine if that guy that they were talking about on the Facebook post today, if his company put in, if all the employees, all the CEOs, all the upper management, all the stockholders put in money towards everybody that was in that corporation, so by the time you're retired, there wouldn't be any way for them to say, nope, there's no money for you, sorry, see ya. You know what I mean? So I believe that the people that are behind this movement, the David Wood, the Chris Jones, and all these other people that are working so hard to allow people to succeed in this $500 billion industry, I think this is awesome. I think this is so cool. And so that's what, I feel like this is why Carol, Ellie, and I are here each and every week, because we want to bring that awareness to you, and we want you to make you feel like, you are special, you are appreciated, and we believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself right now. Because I had people believe in me when I first got started, because I didn't have much belief in what I was doing. It was kind of hard. I didn't understand internet marketing and network marketing and all this kind of stuff and how it all fit together, and sales funnels and all that kind of thing. So just know that we're here for you, and you can reach out to us at any time. And we're really glad that you're here, doing that right now. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox there. got going there, Carol. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Geez, if I'm the influence that calms things down, then I'm not thinking big enough. So I got to work on that one. All right. God, you brought up so much, Lynn. Let me just go back. You talk about daydreaming, and it's so funny. I remember as a kid in school. I don't remember what grade it was. Doesn't matter. But I was always looking out the window, daydreaming. And in the springtime, there was this guy, one of the lawn keepers, who used to drive this big lawnmower back and forth. And I was so fascinated with that. I would watch him by the hour because I love vehicles. I love cars. I love vehicles. So when I saw this guy driving this thing, I used to say, "Oh man, I would love to do that," And then all of a sudden, one of the teachers would say, "Carol, pay attention." It's like, oh shit. Yeah, and talk about being stuck. I just got out of the job market about a year and a half ago. Yeah, that's about right. Probably 2 years. No, a year and a half ago. So people I used to work with, and they were all ages. There were people close to my age and young folks who were starting a family, in their late 20s, early 30s. And I remember in particular a discussion I had once in a while. We'd have a little downtime, and I was talking to this guy. This was his second job. He had 2 jobs. I think he had 3 kids, 2 or 3 kids. And of course a wife, and she worked too. And he used to talk about he would love to have a second home in North Carolina. He wanted to go down there. We used to talk about warm climate, and I said, gee, that's great. I said, for me, I want to go farther south. I like to go in the water all the time. But, I used to say to him, you can do that, and he said, oh, no, I could never do that. And I used to pump him all the time about that. I'd say, well, why can't you do that? There's no reason why you can't. Other people do. And the poor guy, he was in his early 30s, and he was already beaten down and bought into the system and said, no, that's not for me. I could never have that. But, I can go there for a week or two on vacation or something, but I could never have a second home there. Oh, man, that used to hurt. So, and there were so many people. Another one who has 3 kids. Her husband is he's a construction guy, so he's in his own business. And she hated this job, absolutely hated it, and wanted to do something else. Had no idea what she wanted to do, but stayed in it for the insurance because she got health insurance for herself, her 3 kids, and her husband. And I talked to her once, and she got scared. Man, she ran away so fast, and it wasn't even like I was trying to sell anything. I was just trying to open her mind, and I said, I'll work with you if you want. We'll see what you might be interested in addition to this. And never heard from her again. She got scared. So yeah, I mean, you want to talk about people being stuck, and these folks are young yet. They have their whole freaking lives ahead of them, and they're in there, man. They're beaten down. It's just so sad. The other thing that came to mind. Stop me if I just said this a moment ago. I don't think I did. I was on a webinar earlier today, and one of the leaders was saying, dig into your business. And what was the word he used? Really plug in. And, I thought that I was really beginning to focus and hone in, and I thought I was doing well in that area. But that old expression, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I mean, I have heard that said so many freaking times. But something about today, I heard that, and it went right through to my core. And I said, all right, I hear you. That's it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to work smarter, going to focus more, going to develop the IPAs more, the income producing activities more. And you're right. You're right. Plug in. Really plug in. And the final thing that comes to my mind right now is a video that some of us have seen by Gary Vaynerchuk. And I don't recall the title of it, but I was shocked to see this video come out, because most marketing and inspirational things are geared toward the 20 and 30-year-olds. He was talking to 40 and over. And he just kept saying over and over again, get with it. Learn what you need to do. You're coming of an age now where you have more free time available, more than likely, because your kids are getting older. For some of you, your kids are out of the house now. And you have that free time. Instead of sitting in front of the boob tube, instead of even playing golf, hone into your technical skills. Learn how to use that smartphone. Learn how to use the internet. There is so much out there for you to take part in, and people are just not plugging into it. I had no idea when I watched that it was a $500 billion industry, but he said, grab it. There's no reason why you don't do that. It's there for everybody, not just for the younger generation. Get in there. So, yeah, I mean, think bigger, learn stuff, and that's where I'm going to leave it for right now. Ellie?
Yeah, good stuff. I don't really know why age has got anything to do with this. And my birthday is this month. And we'll leave it there. Because I don't get that. Like, if you're this age and this is for you, and if you're that, what? I ate ice cream when I was 3, and I'll still eat ice cream when I'm however old I'm going to be. I don't get that. And like, why shouldn't you be embracing life just because you're older? You still have your whole damn life to live. I don't know how long it is. Here's the truth. Okay, I like sound like the doom person today. Because first I said they could push the button. But the other end of it is you don't know if you're waking up tomorrow. I don't care how old you are. You don't. So, you know, I learned that firsthand, real close to me. So embrace what you got. It's just bullshit excuses. Sorry, I said it. Bullshit excuses. Okay, and it's funny because you can use it. I'm too old. All right, or you can do it. I'm too young. It's like it's a bullshit excuse. And what it really is you have a belief. Like Carol's talking about somebody in their 30s and they're already going, I can't do that and I can't do that. You know, and when you say, I get that if you're saying stuff like that, you've been trained there. I get that. I really understand that. A lot of you know I really work at that. I teach that. I get that. I get we have that. But you ain't 3 no more. And we've been telling you a lot, and I'm hoping you're reading because we talk about that all the time. So there's a point that you finally have to say, enough. Enough. These crazy, you know, I call them the committee members in your head, okay? Just shut up. Just shut up. Enough. I'm done. I'm not living like that no more. Because here's what I really want you to look at. Are you where you really want to be right here, right now? And if the answer is no, it could be I'm on my way, but it's still no, okay? The cure for that is, okay, you have to stop doing what you were doing. You've got to change it up. In other words, stop telling the same old freaking story. Because when you tell that same old freaking story, guess what? You live that same old freaking story. So start changing it. And I get it. Most people, you don't go to bed tonight and get up and go tomorrow, oh, my life is fluffy and I changed my whole story. Maybe there's one person in 8 million people that happens to. Okay, but it's a process. So Carol said something really big before. She's been in this business for like close to 2 years or 2 years, I don't know. And, you know, you think you've got it, and then she hears something today. And it comes at another core. But here's the deal. Had she walked away a year ago, a month ago, 2 days ago, she wouldn't have heard that. So this other piece of her journey wouldn't have showed up for her. If you think stuff is random or coincidences or what, it ain't. Okay? It just ain't. All right? We're calling stuff to us, and the universe is always trying to deliver. It's trying to deliver what you want, but if you call it in this, oh, I want it, I'll never have it. Oh, I want it, it's this. It's this, it's doing this. Come here, and you're holding it back. All right? So it's learning how to put this down. Turn it this way. Come on here and live that life. And it's there for you. And that is a big, bold life. That doesn't mean you have to be crazy like me and be like this, okay? You can be a quiet person and still live a bold life. Some people get scared and they go, oh, crap. If I go in that business, will I be nuts like her? No, you will not be nuts like me. I am my own kind of nuts. You will be your own nuts. It could be a quiet nuts. It's good. It's a quiet bold. It's a quiet big. It just, you know in your being if you're living, if you're really living the boldness of who you are. You just have to answer that question, not to me, to yourself. Do you feel that? Are you living the boldness of who you are? Whatever that is for you. I'm going to pass it on.
Yeah, and you know, when you were talking about, you know, you're doing this, you know, come on. It reminds me of somebody, I can't remember who talked about it, where you have you're like driving a car and you have the foot on the gas pedal and the other foot on the brake. Because you're like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to go too fast, and oh, put the brake on, right? So that reminds me of that, Ellie, and that's the perfect analogy, because too many people do that. And here's the thing. The reason why more and more people are getting a piece of the pie of this $500 billion industry and what the universe has brought to all of us is technology. I mean, look at it. We're on a live stream, webcast for free. First of all, it's free that we can connect with people. And the technology of, these darn smartphones, right? And being able to connect with people in so many different ways, so many different languages, so many different countries across the globe, everywhere, right? So that's why there's so much opportunity for so many people. But here's the thing. Even though we have this technology and we have the internet, we still have this screwed up mindset from when we were kids and coming through and growing up, right? So if we get that right, if we really focus in on who we are, what it is that we really want, then I think that opens up the avenue of thinking bold, living bold, big, and all that kind of thing, and realizing that this isn't saturation whatsoever. What it is, it's a door opening for you to go in and just have at it and be a nut like Ellie. I'm a nut. Carol's a nut. Maybe I'm a cashew, and Carol's an almond, and Ellie, I don't know, she's a walnut. I don't know. But we all have our personalities, our ability to connect with people, and certain people are going to connect with me, other people are going to connect with Carol, other people are going to connect with Ellie, and that's just the way it is, and that is so cool. And that's why we have this, this pie, right? We have this $500 billion opportunity. So I know that we're going to have to go to a training tonight. So I'm going to pass this off to Carol for final thoughts, and then to Ellie, and then we'll toast on out. But I want you all to come back next week, because we're gonna be talking about some good stuff here going into this month and going further into 2016. We are on a true mission here, folks. We really are. So with that said, I'll pass this over to Carol and then Ellie, and then we'll see you next week.
Okay. You just brought to mind something that Tracy Walker had said a few events ago when she was talking about, or maybe it was on an Inner Circle or something, I don't know, one of the Monday night calls. She had said something about, being prepared in your business. Now, we're on December 1st here. Waiting until December 31st is not the time to start preparing for 2016. So as you said, Lynn, we're going to be talking about stuff and we're going to get deeper into things and cover it. And we're starting this month, so we're going to get prepared for 2016. As I heard today, really plug in. So that all kind of goes together for me. Now there's another thing here too, in terms of thinking big, living big, living bold. What is your definition of that? Is it money? Is it financial wealth? Is it being more comfortable with yourself, personal development? Is it both? Again, I'm going back to this book that I just finished, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And T. Harv Eker, towards the very end of it, was saying that in order to build wealth, we first have to build ourselves. And building ourselves leads to abundance. Whether it's financial abundance, whether it's personal abundance, whether it's family abundance, whether it's abundance of happiness, whatever it is. So that's where we have to start. But I'm going to get on a soapbox for a moment here, and people can knock me off if they want to. I don't care. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I see so many people in this business who have been in the business for a couple of years and haven't really dug in, haven't gotten going on it, haven't found their traction yet. And I have to wonder, do you really want to build wealth, financial wealth? If you do, then let's find ways of making that happen. Let's get going in that direction. If not, if you're happy, being in the community and working on yourself, the personal development part, and you're happy with that, fine. Not for me to say anything about that, because I also enjoy that part of being part of this endeavor, this company. But that's one of the things we're going to work on is in addition to the personal development piece of it and the working towards abundance, we're going to also be working on the financial piece of it, the financial abundance, and see if we can't get some more traction going here. And for myself too, there's always room for improvement. So I'm not just pointing my finger at other people, but I am going to say that if that is something that you're interested in, then let's make a commitment. Let's really plug in and let's go for it. And let's live big and bold. With that, I'll pass it on to Ellie.
My goodness, should I get on my soapbox now? No, I'm kidding. I won't. Well, I am. I'm thinking of, and again, it's the same book. We were reading the same book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. This is at least the third time I've read that book. Maybe the fourth time. So it's all colored in. There's all these things written in it, and this stuff written in. As I go on, I color. I haven't gotten a new coloring. Usually I get orange and chartreuse, whatever. The books usually end up all colored in because you see stuff. And so it's true. If you've been in this business or any business, or you're in and out of businesses in the industry and you're playing around, I don't even want to, I'm sure you didn't go in to play around, okay? If you don't change your financial blueprint, your money blueprint, nothing changes. So that's huge. So that's why we always talk about personal development, because so many people don't get it, like how huge that is. If you don't change that, and you do that by being in a community, by talking about it, and by reading those books, and then getting a little bolder, which is kind of like getting out of your comfort zone a little. And then that's how you change that blueprint. But unless you change it, I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. All right, maybe that slow grind of just working, and not working on this will eventually change because you've been doing it for so freaking long. All right, but it's like, holy crap, why take that pathway? Get involved in a community, in a business that engulfs all of these things we talked about: internet marketing, personal development, and home-based business. All right, so the $500 billion, doesn't that blow your brain? So obviously it's saturated with a community that has walnuts and almonds. I don't know, what was Carol, a peanut or something? I don't know, okay? And you can be,
that was the cashew.
Oh, cashew, that was nice. I called her a peanut. But you can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be a nut. You don't have to be, So it's like, here we are, December 1st, 30 more days of this month. Please do not look back and go, oh shit, I should have done this and that. Please don't do that. Please don't take the next 30 days and beat yourself up for what you should have done. Wherever you are, you are. What is what is. Okay, what matters is, and Carol said it, about making a commitment. Make the commitment to you. Make a commitment, okay? And take the next 30 days and start seeing where you want to go and utilizing what you need to utilize, or finding what you need to utilize, and hooking in with the people and that you need in your life, and reading the books and listening to the audios. And that's how you change your blueprint. That's how you change your life. That's how you go on a journey instead of that bogged down freaking life. Life is a journey and an adventure. And you could end up a nut like me, or you could just be, I don't know, a cashew, whatever. That's all I gotta say.
I love it. And see, you got to have fun at what you're doing as well. All right. Well, like I said, we have to shove off here tonight because we have some our Kalatu Premium training. And so should we have Carol toast us out? You want to do that, Carol?
Sure. I just want to make one quick comment about the nuts. I had just read on somebody's Facebook group, I think it was lately, that if you have spiders in your house, put walnuts, whole entire walnuts, don't crack them open, just put walnuts around in the corners of your rooms, and for some reason the spiders don't like that, so they won't come in.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good tip.
That's easy, right? On that note, I will say, here's to all the nuts in the world. May we all be big and bold, personally, financially, whatever way we want to be, or all of the above. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Okay, folkies, we will see you next week, next Tuesday. Please come back. If you're watching the replay, please let us know you were here. Leave your comments, your questions, and come visit us again. We will see you then. Ta-ta.
Good night.
Good night.